This is Rich, Hot, and Free. What's up, and welcome to another episode of Rich, Hot, and Free. I'm Jill Stanton, and today we're going to talk about the most underrated business strategy in the online space. And it's 5 words. That's it. Because I fucking want to. That's it. That's the whole strategy. And I know that might sound overly simple or maybe a little cheeky, maybe a little unhinged, but stick with me because by the end of this episode, you're going to see just how much of your power you've been giving away by needing a good reason to do the things you actually want to fucking do. And if you're anything like the women that I coach, you've probably spent a lot of time justifying your decisions, right? To yourself, to your partner, to your audience, to your coach, to your friends, to your family, to random people on the internet who have absolutely zero skin in the game. And that justification energy, that let me explain why this makes sense energy, that's not strategy. It's not intelligence. It's not being responsible, okay? It's you asking for permission. And now we're done with that. So that's what we're diving into today. You got it? Let's hit it. I'm in my swivel chair as well. So please excuse me if you're watching this on YouTube. I'm probably going to be swinging around. Okay, so first I want to unpack why this is such a thing for women in particular, because it's not just a bad habit. It's like deeply wired into who we be. From an evolutionary standpoint, right? Women have been conditioned for thousands of years to seek approval before acting. Right? We equate being accepted by the group as literal survival. And if you stepped out of line, if you did something that the tribe didn't agree with, then the consequences weren't just social, they were actually life-threatening. So your nervous system still carries that kind of programming. It still interprets doing what I want without checking with someone first as dangerous. Okay? It still equates unapproved action with potential rejection. And rejection to your brain still feels like a threat to your safety, okay? And then on top of that, most of us were raised in what I call good girl programming, right? Be agreeable. Be likable. Don't be too much. Don't be too loud. Don't be too bold. Don't be too assertive. Don't be too ambitious. Wait to be picked. Wait for someone to tell you it's your turn. No. And so what happens is when we grow into adults, we're still women who are running our business and leading our teams and building these empires from a lens of still looking for other people to validate our decisions before we feel safe enough to make them. Okay? And that might look like you needing to check with a coach before you launch something, or needing to see that someone else did it first before you give it a try, or needing, a proven strategy or a testimonial or a case study to say this works before you actually back yourself. And listen, I'm all for getting mentorship and strategic support. Of course, that is literally what I do. But there is a massive difference between getting support to sharpen your moves and needing someone to tell you that it's okay to make the move you were going to make in the first place. Do you see the difference there? One is empowered, and the other one is outsourcing your authority. And the woman who wins, she does not outsource her authority. Okay? She backs herself. That's the difference. So here's where I want to get a little more confronting with you because I think a lot of women don't realize how much this pattern is actually costing them. Okay? Every time you need to build a case for why you should do something or why you should do something you already know you want to do, you are hemorrhaging your time, your life force, your energy, and your momentum. Think about it. How many times have you had a brilliant freaking idea for something or a piece of content or a rebrand or an offer, or you wanted to make a bold move, but then instead of just doing it, you went into justification mode? So you started calculating the ROI. You started looking for evidence that it would work before you actually try it. You asked 3 different people what they thought of it. You sat on it for 2 weeks. You made a pros and cons list. You overthought it to death until the original fire that was behind that oomph was just gone. It was muted. It burned out. And then you either didn't do it at all Or you did like a watered down safe version of it that didn't even land because it didn't even have the energy behind it. Because the energy was already dead because you sat in the overthinking of it. Does that sound familiar? I've watched this happen with so many, not just women actually, so many entrepreneurs in general. And the pattern is always the same or pretty similar, right? The idea was right. The desire was right. It was right there. The instinct was right. But the need to justify it or get validation around it dimmed it. It watered it down. It killed the momentum. Meanwhile, the women who are absolutely killing it, they move on their desires. They move on instinct. They move on their ideas. They move on something because they fucking want to. And they trust themselves and their team to bring it to life. That's the difference. It's not that they have better ideas or better resources or more resources. It's just that they don't need permission to execute on their ideas. That's the only difference. And here's where this goes even deeper than just business strategy, okay? Because when you allow because I fucking want to, to be a valid reason for your decisions, you're not just making a move. You're setting yourself up for this like beautiful identity declaration, okay? You're declaring, I trust myself. My desire is valid. I don't need external approval to act on my own knowing, my own ideas. That's the difference. And that is the frequency of the woman who wins. Okay? She doesn't need anyone to co-sign her vision. She doesn't need her industry to tell her it's okay to do this, to make this move, to have this idea, to create this offer. She doesn't need her friends or her mastermind peers or her team members or her family to validate her moves. She moves because she fucking wants to. And then she backs it with conviction and energy and action and self-trust. And the universe rewards that level of audacity every single freaking time. Because here's what I've learned about this whole thing. The frequency of audacity tells the universe, I'm ready. I'm ready for more. I'm available for more. I'm here. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's move. And audacity isn't arrogance. It's alignment. It's knowing what you want and then owning it and trusting yourself enough to go for it. Don't you think, like think about it, don't you think the limitless version of you, like you at your highest and brightest, the you who has everything you say you want, don't you think she would do exactly what she wants to fucking do before checking with other people first? Like, don't you think she would move without needing permission? Of course she would. Because she knows that other people's opinions of her or what she's doing doesn't move the needle. Their opinions do not pay her bills. Their opinions do not call in the clients she wants to work with. So let me give you some examples or some ways that this can actually show up in your business, like in real life. Because I don't want this to just be surface. I don't want this to be like a fluffy motivational episode. I want you to be able to see it in real life. So an example is someone saying, I want to raise my rates to $5,000 a month for my coaching. Well, my answer would be like, okay, cool. Do it. Like, it can be that simple. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. If you have a track record of results with clients, then yes, you should raise your rates if you're undercharging. You should charge what you want. You should be well compensated, highly paid for pouring into your clients and helping them get results. Or I want to create a high ticket program and charge $10,000 for 3 months. Okay, cool. You should do that. Like if you know how to get people a shift or a result or an outcome, or you know how to help them create something that they want to create or do or have or experience, then, and you want to create a high ticket offer around that, then you should fucking do it. What about, I want to fire this team member because they don't, they're a C-level player or they don't match where I'm going. All right, enough said. You should fucking do that. Like the second you know something is a yes for you, the second you know you want to do something, you should do it because you fucking want to. I want to set these boundaries. Cool. You should do it. I want to retire this offer, even though it's making me money. Cool. You should do it. You don't need to run it into the ground until you hate it. Okay? If you've outgrown something, you can let it go. The next thing's already trying to come through anyways. Or what about like, I want to release this friendship. Okay, cool. Go do it. Have that hard conversation. Or I want to lose weight and look hotter. Awesome. You should totally do that. Or I want to invest, I don't know, 25 grand into a coach. If it's a full body fuck yes for you, then yes, you should do it. You don't need to read through all the testimonials. You don't need a spreadsheet of all the reasons why you should do something, especially when it comes to coaching. Sometimes the coaching in ROI is the woman you become on the other side of that container, on the other side of that investment. Or, I don't know, I want to French this hot guy. Okay, yeah, you should go do that. Or I want to build a $10 million net worth. Fuck yes, you should go do that. Or I want to burn my entire content strategy down and start fresh. Do it. If it doesn't feel alive to you anymore, then it definitely doesn't feel alive to your audience. I can promise you that. They can feel when you're phoning it in. So yeah, you should do it. Or I want to say this thing on my stories, even though it'll ruffle feathers. Fuck yes, I absolutely think you should do that. And honestly, like this whole vibe that I'm talking about right now, this is exactly how my hot new offer, The Verge, came to be. Okay, so I realized a few weeks back, I put this in my newsletter. I realized a few weeks back that I fucking hate teaching, but I love coaching. Like the energy of being in a room with a woman who's like on the cusp of her next level and seeing the pattern she can't see and naming it and watching something like unlock in real time. Like, ooh, that is where I just like come alive. That is like my freaking love language. And now that I know that, I can see that, I want to create offers that support me in that vibe, which is again, how The Verge came to be. So it's a live hot seat experience for women who are already onto something big. They're already on the verge of something big, but they can feel that like subtle resistance right when it's time to fully move. Now, most people would be like, that's not scalable. That relies on your time. People won't want that. You're going to run weekly hot seats. That's dumb. But here's the thing. I'm not saying they have to do it. I'm saying I want to fucking do this. This is how I want to market and sell my offers. I want this to be how I sell my work. And I deeply trust that a lot of the women that are meant to be in my world will zing with this. At least the right ones will. And really, they're the only ones I care about. So I'm doing it because I fucking want to. Same with this audio coaching offer that I have coming up called Savage. I'm creating it because asynchronistic audio coaching is literally my fucking jam. I could do it all day, every day. And so I'm creating an offer around that because I fucking want to. The point is, you should do whatever the fuck lights you up because it's your life. You're the one who has to navigate the consequences, positive or negative, right? You're the one who has to navigate that as a result of your decisions and actions, no one else. So yeah, you should probably do whatever the fuck you want to do. Now, one of my clients actually put this so beautifully. She was talking about how her version of audacity was giving herself the permission to work when she feels called to work, not trying to force it for herself. She wanted permission to ask for space when she desires it, permission to not have this like rigid, structured block of time where she works, because that's just not how her energy operates. And I love that because it highlighted something so important. For a lot of women, the audacity isn't even about some big flashy move, right? Sometimes the most audacious thing a woman could do is simply stop apologizing for how she wants to live her life. Stop apologizing for loving working. Stop apologizing for being ambitious. Stop apologizing for wanting more money or wanting a bigger life. Stop apologizing for the way that your brain works, the way that your energy flows, and the way that you want to structure your days. Because, quote unquote, I want to is the most honest, most aligned, most powerful reason you could ever give, even if people don't get it. And when you start moving from that place, people will feel it. Your audience will feel it. Your clients will feel it. Your content will feel different. Your offers will feel like they have more oomph to them. Like when you start operating from that place, everything shifts. Because you're no longer performing for other people. You're expressing yourself. And that expression, that full, unapologetic, like this is how I do things kind of energy, that is what makes you magnetic. So here's what I want you to do after this episode, okay? I want you to identify one thing that you've been wanting to do in your business or in your life or in your relationship, wherever, that you keep thinking you need a good reason for. Maybe it's, I don't know, raising your prices or losing weight or changing your niche or investing in yourself in some capacity or joining something or launching something, or maybe it's ending something, right? That's not really working or that no longer feels aligned or something you've outgrown. Whatever it is, I want you to make that decision today. And when your brain asks you, but why? I want you to answer, because I fucking want to. That's it. That's the whole reason. That's the whole justification. And I want you to watch what happens when you start making moves from that place, that energy, instead of justification energy. Seriously, watch how fast things start to shift for you. So I hope this one landed for you, because honestly, it's something I think I needed to hear when I was building this version of my business. And so I wanted to share this with you, because if I'm feeling this, I know other people are feeling this. So if this landed for you, I want to hear about it. Shoot me a DM on IG at I am Jill Stanton, and tell me what landed for you and what your because I fucking want to move is going to be. All right? Deal? I want to hear about it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.